So, X build overall, very min-maxed. Not a lot of weaknesses overall. But with that being said, there's a lot of investment that goes into this. So its strengths, there are many. So its primary damage output is Imbue dice and 2-weapon fightings with hand wraps. So you're attacking an absolute shit ton with your double strike and offhand chance, and you're applying a ton of damage on Imbue, scaling it a lot. With that damage, you're going into endgame content with big cleave attacks and doing a ton of AoE damage, and 2-weapon fighting innately is really good against single target. So your single target is competitive. Your AoE is pretty solid too. You're jack of all trades when it comes to damage. The defenses you have are not too shabby either. Your HP is respectable. It's a little on the lighter side, but workable, but you have an insane amount of dodge. And that dodge is going to carry you in a ridiculous amount through physical attacks. You're 9 sorcerer, so you have some utility buffs, haste, displacement, dimension door, can get you out of some sticky situations. You're a paladin, so your lay on hands scaling your deck or your charisma is also very high, allowing you to get huge burst heals on yourself, pretty much full healing yourself whenever you want. And this build is a Warforged because we are committing to, myself and my group are committing to a pure Warforged group, so we have a couple artificers that will be able to heal this build as well, and when the Sorc levels come through, this build will be able to heal, self-heal, and heal other Warforged. Some of the weaknesses, early game, not a ton of AoE. 2-weapon fighting early. Thank you very much, Hire. Appreciate it. Early game, not a lot of AoE. 2-weapon fighting early doesn't do a whole lot. Once you hit 12, you're starting to get more and more with your Eldritch Tempest. And then as you go higher and higher, your AoE get more and more. While leveling, you're pretty squishy. Not a ridiculous amount. You're still Paladin main, but your self-healing isn't there until you get Sorc levels, and even then it's starting to slow down because you're getting them later. So you're a little bit more reliant on your friends and on glugging pots. Gearing is also really tight, especially while leveling. You have to balance spell power, you have to balance your defenses, you have to balance your offenses. There's a lot going on. You're also very action point starved. You want to put a ton of action points everywhere, so every level you make full use of your action. And with that, you're getting a lot of active buttons with all your monk buttons, your Sacred Fist buttons, your Eldritch Knight buttons, and your Epic buttons. There's so many buttons to balance and try to create a rotation for yourself. And your Imbue damage, while it's a little flexible, you don't have an innate strip for it. So if you go up against an enemy that is immune to it, then you have to take a chunk of damage down and swap to a different Imbue, or have someone in your party that strips. Yeah, cool. What is NES spell power gloves? Yes. Strippers, you say? Yes. Big stripper. I don't know what NES stands for. No, I don't think so. You'll see where all the spell power and everything comes through a little bit later. Oh, the power glove. Oh, not the spell power gloves. Power gloves. Yeah. See what you're saying. Okay. Looking at the enhancements. So enhancements, your core Eldritch Knight. With that, you're not actually putting any points in the Eldritch Knight until a little later. Your big early game is going to be Sacred Fist, where you're getting your cleaves, your exalted smites, and a bunch of Imbue dice. Along with that, early game, you're going to splash a little Henshin for more Imbue dice. Once you hit 12, though, you're committing heavily. We have it set up so right when you hit 12, you get to the top of the Eldritch Knight's tree. Committing heavily into Eldritch Knight, getting your defenses, getting your Arcane Barrier procs, your Eldritch Tempests. A lot going on here. And getting a lot of your offensive power, your crit range, all of that. Will be very nice swap, but you're like building up in power early, you're getting Sacred Fist stuff going, and then you're resetting it back down once you get to Eldritch Knight, and then you're building it up, and it'll just keep building from there. So leveling, little up and down. Yeah. And then you do end up going Vistani Knife Fighter to get your haste boost. That will just multiply your damage whenever you pop it. You're just so single target damage focused with wraps and offhand strike. From there, going to Epic Destinies, playing in Divine Crusader. Divine Crusader, because your hand wraps are favored weapons, you get bonus to hit, bonus W, or enhancement bonus, bonus W. You're applying Vuln on hit. You're getting crit. You're able to get your embodiment law for free, or do a bunch of extra law damage for free. Up to you. And you're not going, like, the consecration is mediocre. It's pretty nice for the healing, but you can also cheat it by using your Smite Evils to proc Mighty Crusade. So you Smite Evil at the start of every single one of your combos to get your 10% damage bonus and Imbue. And that will start all of your big burst combos. You start with that, get your 10% damage next 4 seconds. You blow it up. Next tree is your Mechanotechnic tree, which gets you your Imbue, which is very nice, as well as just a little bit of extra lightning spell power. Mainly will be focused on lightning. No fail on reflex. Your saves are out of this world, so no fail is very nice. And then Grandmaster of Flowers, you're committing into to get Drifting Lotus for big crit threat range, multi, big force damage. There's a lot going on there. You're always going to be at max key, so you can just press this on cooldown. And that's the keys. So with this, we're going to go over to our spells, and we have a couple different spells. So we have our sorcerer spells that'll go up. Mostly it's utility. Lesser Death Aura allows us to keep up stacks of Arcane Warrior and other buffs, or Force's Edge, stuff like that, up pretty easily. Shields for good defenses. We also have innate shields. We have a little bit to repair, Dimension Door, haste, displacement, false life. It's utility all over the place. It'll be nice. Our fist abilities, Key Bolt we can use to keep up stacks, and then Sacred Flame Empowerment for 3 extra fist dice will be good. 3 extra fist dice, which translate into 3 Imbue dice in general. So that'll be really nice. Here, take a look at our feats. The feats are pretty tight, but all very impactful. So we go the 2-weapon fighting line. You do have to LR, or feat swap, sorry, at level 1 into 2-weapon fighting. This is one reason that we're using a tome. And then we go 2-weapon defense for a little MRR cap, which is nice. And then PRR. Swords to Plowshares gives us an additional crit threat range on our hand wraps. We're only going 3 monk, so we do have to take all of the monk stances. Monk stances will allow us to get a ton of double strike and flying, more utility for like wind or water stance and such. Brute 2-weapon fighting, grave 2-weapon fighting, bludgeoning, pretty standard. Get toughness, so we can take L-top if you want. Into epics, perfect 2-weapon fighting, overwhelming critical, Grandmaster, double strike, quicken to keep our self heals up. This can be swapped out if you want to do extend for keeping your extended buffs on Sacred Flame Empowerment. An option. Arcane Warrior. This gives 40 universal spell power or 20 melee power. Alternatively, you can grab Embodiment of Law to get the law damage here on Law and Divine. Into level 30, we have Wellspring, which gives us 150 universal spell power, which is nice, just big burst damage for our lightning. And then Plane of Air, Gives us lightning damage, 3 imbue, more dodge. It's great. And then 1 extra imbue on enhanced element. Looking at the equipment, we have Shadow's Emptiness for imbue dice, which is great. Double strike, fantastic. We make use of universal spell power, and this artifact magic resistance pretty much keeps us capped no matter what, because we're wearing in robes, even with the additional magic cap. Then we're using Dread Isles for all of our profane bonuses. We lose 1 profane ability for not going the forbidden knowledge set, but 1 ability for way better gearing. Flexibility is really nice. We've been using Dino Bone hand wraps. You can use Shining Reliquaries for the extra W, but your enhancements aren't as good. We have electric damage just to scale that more. Melt Fang, if that still stacks. If not, then you just go more electric. Charisma, bonus charisma, and then affirmation for bonus temp HP. This build, while it dodges a lot, having that affirmation will just keep it all more flexible. And then repair spell power. This is where we have to augment our repair spell power just to keep that up. The actual gear itself, we have a lost potential for the Shadow's Emptiness and freedom of movement and insightful saves, which is very nice. Up next, Eternal Flameguard Lenses for this is double strike and quality double strike. It's nice to just have that all in one. We waste the deadly and quality deadly, can't have everything we want, but not too bad. University's Champion is a normal deadly, seeker, accuracy, armor piercing. Pendant of the Lost Sea will be our insightful mag, as well as crit damage if we want. We can take accurate. We already have everything else. We can take reception. This is just filler on what you want to put on it. The thing here, we have repair amp, which is nice to have a repair amp on gear. We don't have it on our docent, as well as our other sheltering. Resistance is nice. Having good luck is nice for our saves. The last piece of the Shadow's Emptiness for quality, accuracy, deadly, armor piercing, double strike. A-okay. We do give up trance because we're not running a favored soul or cleric, so we don't have insightful DCs or deadly, so we'll have to try to get that elsewhere. Don't know if we actually do, but what we gain from monk is far more worth it, like superior reinforced fists, which is 1.5 W on our attack, as well as insightful seeker right here for the dire wolf belt. The ring of the signet gives our magnetism here, which is nice. You can also pick up, we already have our resistances, but if we wanted more, we can get spell pen, we can get C's, get some more crit damage, lots of options. The gloves here are for vitality and just a set bonus, as well as our con here. We do have to have insightful con augment as well. Sunken Slippers get us our quality charisma, as well as insightful and quality potency, and lesser displacement if we don't keep our displacement up or it runs out. And then Dino Bone Ring is our artifact with main charisma, 1 extra deadly if you want. You don't have to put anything here. Enhanced ghostly or incorp can also go Relentless Fury, but our main damage isn't as big. Up to you. And then Dodge Sapphire keeps our dodge up, and insightful Chaw bracers with insightful wizardry, which is doubled because we're Stork. And that is that. Let me see if there's any more augments that are going on. Nope, not a ton of other augs. Oh, we have a diamond of dex here just to keep our, if we want to get more saves happening. And that, I believe, is that. So looking at our stances, we have all of these can be maxed at all times for a lot of extra spell power. We do not have Wellspring active, but this is an extra 150 spell power whenever we want. We'll be playing an electric damage, but you can swap over to Sacred Flame to deal light damage right here. Your Sacred Flame now deals light damage instead of fire, so if you need to get past a pesky invulnerability or immunity on electric, you can. And then we're playing in Wind Stance mainly to keep our double strike at 12 extra. So looking at the breakdowns, we'll have 48 con, 65 charisma. This can be augmented up with +1 on either with augments. Reflex or saves are out of this world. Close to 100 on fort and reflex, and 80 will plus freedom of movement. You're doing insane. You're A-okay on everything reflex based. You have evasion. You'll be able to dodge every trap. You can save every fort save. Doing great. Hit points. 1757. Not bad for a melee build like this, especially considering we have 123 PRR for 55% reduction there. With robes, we still have 60% MRR, or 60 MRR for 37 there, with our no-fail reflex. So we should never get hit for there. Almost 300 fortification and 31 dodge. So we're dodging a third of every attack coming our way. Very, very nice. Our offensive breakdown, we have 100 offhand chance. Fantastic. We're hitting that 70 double strike mark. So with Reaper bonus, we'll get up to 100. That'll be great. Bonus dice, 26. That'll go closer to 30s, the low 30s with all of the different enhancements that get procced. We'll have just about 200 melee power, which is not bad for an Imbue build, mainly focused on the extra numbers at the end. And yeah, 55 helpless damage if anything is all stunned up. Our spell powers, which you don't care about crit or multi, but our spell power is 752, just standing, hanging out with all of our offensive buffs up. Not too shabby. And we even have 612 on our repair as well. So we're able to do a little bit more healing. Again, 752 for our electric. That can buff up to 900 with Wellspring. And that gives us a big burst of damage. The weapon itself, 121 attack bonus, A-okay. Again, this is an Imbue build, so our plus 75 damage and 94 crit damage. Not super unrespectable for being an Imbue build. Crit multi, or crit range is about as good as we can get. I think it actually goes a little bit more. No, we get extra multi for that, yep. So doing A-okay on that front. Overall, build I think is going to pump damage and dodge every attack coming its way with as much displacement and incorp and all of its defenses, huge saves, pretty solid HP.